dengue fever, Ebola, cancer. Mention any of these diseases and images of human suffering spring to mind. With the opening of Rachlin Carmichael Hall in 2005, Indiana University School of Medicine South Bend initiated a significant research agenda. Its faculty would focus on infectious diseases, cancer, genomics. I'm Taraja Sadadzada, a second-year student at the South Bend campus. Today, the medical school and students like me are reaping the benefits of this accelerating research agenda.
A number of years ago, we decided to add research to the educational activity here in South Bend. We decided we wanted to focus on areas of research that would be compatible with the efforts in Indianapolis, the School of Medicine, and efforts that were ongoing in the College of Science at the University of Notre Dame.
In addition to attracting partners such as Notre Dame and the IU Simon Cancer Research Center, our faculty's research appeals to medical students.
I'm pursuing an MD along with a PhD, and I was looking for research faculty who are doing frontline research on the topics that I'm interested in, which is infectious diseases. As a medical student, I want active researchers teaching me. I want to learn from people who really understand it in depth, and I wanted to integrate my research with what's going on worldwide.
As a doctoral student, Mark is working with Dr. Rob Stalen, one of the South Bend campus's promising young researchers. His work on the deadly Ebola virus has attracted national attention.
In my work with the Ebola virus, what we're trying to identify is essentially how this virus replicates in human cells. We've identified some of these factors that are required for Ebola replication, and we're now in the stages of trying to create small molecules to inhibit the replication cycle of the virus.
Being taught by active researchers, we're learning things that other med students won't see in textbooks for years.
Partnering with Notre Dame to create Harper Cancer Research Institute, the medical school faculty has developed research that addresses breast, ovarian, pancreatic, prostate, throat, and neck cancers. While we study the treatments used today, we are also researching solutions to personalized treatments for tomorrow's cancer patients.
My lab is involved in studying ovarian cancer research.
One of the really important focuses in our lab is looking at the development of therapeutic resistance in breast cancer.
What we're interested in doing is finding new markers that might tell us if a patient is going to respond or is not going to respond to a particular drug.
And there doesn't actually seem to be any difference in apoptosis.
Long term, we'd be interested in personalized medicine and framing each therapeutic regimen to the tumor of one particular patient.
Jenny Prosperi and I are working on a project that involves stimulating very specific pathways in the brain in hopes that we can block or slow the progression of tumors and metastasis, specifically in a breast cancer model that Jenny has developed. This project draws on my main focus in the lab, which is that we can uncover unique pathways in the brain that we could target therapeutically to treat disorders such as panic disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder.
Our laboratory is interested on how genes get turned on and off during blood development. And so we're particularly interested in a set of regulatory molecules, microRNAs. We're hoping that they can be used for targeted therapies that are less toxic, then there's less of a chance that these children will develop other cancers as they get older.
In my lab, we focus on investigating the molecular basis of breast cancer. And we're very interested in trying to understand the development and progression of the tumor. I am in the process of working with a collaborator down in IU Simon Cancer Center to find a drug that could block those abnormal interactions.
Dr. Navari is active in clinical research and has conducted several successful clinical studies that impact how patients tolerate and successfully complete treatment. One of his patients, Darlene Stump, participated in a project detecting and treating cancer-related depression.
The day that I was diagnosed with cancer was October the 18th, 2007.
We elected to design a research study in which we would take this group of women, which Darlene was a good example, and screen them to see if they had depressive symptoms.
I was pretty much overwhelmed by everything that had taken place.
The question came up as to whether they would be helped by a short-term or long-term antidepressant. What the study showed was those patients who received the antidepressant compared to the group who received placebo actually had an improved survival.
After my treatment, I went back to the doctor, and on my checkup he said everything looked good, and I've been cancer-free now for 5+ years.
Earlier this year, Dr. Navari received a $2.1 million grant from the National Cancer Institute to develop a new protocol eliminating the nausea and vomiting brought on by chemotherapy. Based on 10 years of research, the use of an inexpensive drug named olanzapine is being endorsed among oncologists as a means of reducing chemotherapy-induced discomfort. Research focused on genetics and on infectious disease intersects in the laboratory of Dr. Molly Scheel. She partners with members of Notre Dame's Eck Institute for Global Health to reduce dengue fever and other vector-borne diseases.
Over 1 million people die from mosquito-related illnesses each year. Mosquitoes find humans and bite them by smelling us. We are looking at ways to understand the genes that regulate the development of mosquitoes, and we've successfully disrupted their olfactory system development. We are also looking at differences between the male and the female brain. What is it that makes the female go after humans and bite them? And we're hoping to know what those genes are and then to disrupt them during development.
I benefit from our faculty's research. I love it when my professors bring their research into the classroom. I understand and remember the content much better when I hear these real examples. It's interesting, but faculty say they benefit from teaching medical students.
One of the keys to think about an antiviral therapy is you don't have to inhibit entry.
It's impacting the way I do research and really the way I undertake my studies. So in a sense, I'm a lifelong learner along with the students.
I picked the South Bend campus because of this strong research profile. The faculty here represent the ones who are changing science.